Welcome to the Bluff Creek Radio.
I'm Courtney.
And I'm Ashley.
Today's special guest is Miss Macdonald.
Well, hello.
Thanks for coming today. So, we're going to ask you some questions.
That sounds great.
So, what's your favorite thing about being a principal?
Oh, I like being a principal because I get to see children become the best they can be. And I get to help kids to learn, and I get to work with some great teachers who love teaching.
Yeah, that's fun. Maybe I'll be one day.
Would you like to be a teacher?
Yeah. Or like a doctor. Or
Well, both of those things sound like, you like to serve people. That's what principals really do, is we kind of serve people.
How long have you been a principal?
This is my 11th year as a principal, but I've been here at Bluff Creek for 9 years. This is my 9th year.
Oh, wow. So how long are you hoping to be a principal?
Well, I'd like to stay as long as I can make a difference here at Bluff Creek. I certainly would love to hit 10 years for sure, because it's something about being at a school for 10 years. But I love being at Bluff Creek, and I don't even like thinking about leaving. It's a great place.
Yeah, we like having you as a principal.
Thank you.
So, do you have any kids?
I have 2 kids, Mr. Macdonald and I. We have 2 sons. I have a son, Joshua, and I have a son, Brian. And they're both out of school, and they have their own careers, and they live on their own, but I see them all the time.
Oh, so do they live in Minnesota?
Yes, they do.
Wow. So I hear you like making jewelry.
I do. It's one of those things that you know how you need a new hobby sometimes? So I decided that since I like jewelry, and I particularly like necklaces and bracelets, I don't do too many earrings, but I took a class and I learned at this place that sells beads, because you can do all kinds of things. So I make all kinds of beaded necklaces for my friends.
Do you have any pets?
Yes. I have 2 rescue dogs, and what a rescue dog is an animal that is either been given up or found. And so I always used to have dogs that I raised from puppies, but when my last dog passed away, I decided that I'd like to save a dog. So the first dog we adopted, her name was Biscuit, and she came all the way from Georgia. And because Minnesota is a no-kill state, they don't kill animals in refuges, we adopted Biscuit, and she is about 20 pounds, and she's what they call a cardigan corgi, and her name's kind of funny. I thought maybe she was named after the book Biscuit, and we have had her now for 3 years. And then right before Thanksgiving, Mr. Macdonald and I adopted another dog that came all the way from Puerto Rico. And she was flown here because in Puerto Rico, on that island, there are a lot of dogs that are abandoned. And she was not even 1 year old yet. And she is a long-haired dachshund, and her name is Matilda, but we call her Maddie.
Oh, that's cool. So, did you and your husband come up with your dog's names?
No, Matilda was named Matilda by the people in the refuge.
Oh, so you call her Maddie.
Maddie, right. And she speaks English now, I think, because I don't speak much Spanish, but they said that she was used to being spoken to in Spanish. So I did learn a couple words, but I think she's getting to understand English now.
So I heard you traveled around the world. Where have you traveled?
Oh, well, I like to travel. Mr. Macdonald and I have gone lots of places. I've been to different parts of Europe, and I've been to the Caribbean and South America and Mexico, and I've been to 46 of the 50 states in the United States, and I've spent some time in Canada. So, yeah, I like to travel. I have lots of other places I want to see.
Have you ever been where you got your dog?
Have I been to Puerto Rico? Yes.
Oh, so you kind of know what it's like where you got her.
Not like Minnesota, nice and warm.
Oh, that's nice.
What are some hobbies you like to do outside of your job?
Well, I wouldn't be a good principal if I didn't tell you I love to read, because I do. I like to read, and not stuff to do with school. I like all kinds of books. I like historical fiction. Some of you might know what that's like. I also like to read good kids' books. I like to read Harry Potter. That was my favorite. Now I've got some other ones. Matter of fact, some of you guys at school here give me ideas, because I don't always see all the new books. And I just got 2 at the book fair. I also like to cross-country ski, and I like to snowshoe. And when the weather is warm, I like to go swimming and boating. And I like to ride my bicycle. And I play golf. Sometimes I play a little bit of tennis, not too much, but I play tennis.
So you said you like to read. So have you read all the Harry Potter books?
Yes, I have. Some of them more than once.
Oh.
So you also want to go to Harry Potter World, I heard?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to get Mr. Macdonald to go on a trip this summer to go to Harry Potter World because I really am a big fan of Harry Potter.
I don't really know what Harry Potter's like, so what's Harry Potter World like?
Harry Potter World is supposed to, I think, the pictures I've seen of it and what I saw on the internet is that they have all the buildings like of the different Hogwarts and of the different shops. Like I really want to go to the wand shop. I've always wanted a magic wand, so you can go buy a magic wand. It's just for you, and but it's tied to the story and some of the adventures that they went on.
Yeah, I'm hoping to read it maybe one time.
Yeah.
So what are some things you like to do with your husband or like your family?
Well, I like to cook, and so I like to cook for my family. I don't like to cook as much as I like to bake, though. So I like to make pies and cookies and that kind of stuff, and my kids like to eat those. Let's see. When I'm with my family, we all like to go on vacation together. So sometimes we take our boat out, or I will go and we all play golf. So we'll go play golf together. But I like to go to concerts, and I like to go to hockey games, and I like to go to the Twins games.
So did you have like any other jobs before you became like a principal?
Well, before I was a principal, I was a teacher for a really long time, about 15 years, and I taught a lot of grade levels, and I did things that were like being a principal, but not quite, and so I did that for a long time. And before I did that, let me see, I worked at summer camps, and I worked in a law office, and let's see, what are some other things? I did work in a clothing store. That's why I think Mrs. McDonald likes clothes and shoes. And then I did work at summer camps because I used to work with kids who had disabilities. That's the kind of teacher I was. And how I decided I wanted to do that is I worked at a camp for kids who were deaf. And it was in the summer. I taught swimming.
Oh, that's cool because I like to swim.
Do you like to swim?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
You too?
So, have you lived anywhere besides Minnesota?
Mm-hmm. Most of my life I lived in New York State, which is on the East Coast. Everybody, when you say you're from New York, they think you're from New York City. But I'm actually from a place called Buffalo, New York. I didn't ever really live in Buffalo. I lived like you live in Chanhassen, which is near Minneapolis. Well, I lived in a place called Orchard Park or Hamburg. Those are two towns, and they are outside of Buffalo. And I lived there for most of my life, and then my husband got a transfer out here to Minnesota. His job brought him out here, and my sons and I came out to live, and we love it. We've been here 15 years.
So how is New York different than Minnesota?
Well, it's probably more like Minnesota than it's different. We don't have as many lakes, but it's on a Great Lake, it's on Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, and it's near Niagara Falls. So there's water, but we don't have all the little lakes, and so going on your boat's a bit different. What's the most like is that, when you go out to greater Minnesota, there's lots of trees and woods and all that. Well, the middle of New York State has got mountains and trees and woods. There's something called the Adirondack Mountains, and they're out there, and it's really quite beautiful. But the one thing that's a big difference is in Buffalo, where I come, they get lots and lots of snow, but it never got as cold as it gets here in Minnesota.
Oh.
So I've always pictured New York as lots of like cities, but you seem to live where it was kind of like over here.
Yes. But New York City is not that far. It's on the other side of the state, and it's not that far. You can get there by train or plane really fast, and it is a big city. It's a lot bigger than Minneapolis, and it's lots of fun things to do. And
Have you ever seen like the Statue of Liberty or?
I have. Have you ever been there?
No, I haven't.
Have you been there?
Yeah, I've been to New York. I've seen it, but I haven't been like very close to it.
Well, for a while you couldn't. They were fixing it because it
Yeah.
needed renovations. But I think everybody should go to New York City one time just because there's the Statue of Liberty, and there's Ellis Island, and there's wonderful museums, and they have the New York Yankees there.
Yeah, we visited like 2 times, so I'm hoping to get there more because it's a really cool place.
It's a really special place to go around Christmas time.
So thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Today's radio podcast was brought to you by Bluff Creek Elementary and Eastern Carver County Schools.
So thank you.
Thank you.